What's up, guys? Check this out. I'm going to read this quote so I don't massacre it. Pause. Okay, here it is. The notion that science and spirituality are somehow mutually exclusive does a disservice to both. Carl Sagan. Wicked smart guy. Put on my hat. Hello, Puma. I know I look all labeled out, but this is all thrift store. That's how I roll. Anyway, that quote, I don't know how to better frame sacred geometry in one sentence. It's so profound. It says everything all in a couple of lines. For those of you who don't know what sacred geometry is, sacred geometry, more importantly, the Platonic solids. We can talk about the flower of life, Metatron's cube, in a bit. The Platonic solids, the 5 Platonic solids that represent matter, they are found in the periodic table of elements. They're not just pretty designs. It's literally how the atoms are arranged in all of the elements in the periodic table. Now, what genius mind, what omnipotent mind, and let me put this into perspective for you. One time I was designing a flyer. This is probably after I was an atheist, and I'm not any part of any one religion, but I believe now in a source, a higher power. I don't know what it is. But when I was an atheist, I was designing a flyer for somebody, and it took me about 6 hours. And then I finished it, and I said, that took me 6 hours. Like, this brain that took like a billion years to evolve into this space to be able to use this technology and arrange this thing, that took me 6 hours. Like, how much energy that took, okay? How much energy, omnipotent genius did it take to figure out the universe? To come up with a universe that would be self-sustaining, that doesn't just collapse in on itself or explode at any one moment. It's self-sustaining, and it does so on its own. It's self-perpetuating and autonomous, and it stayed that way long enough for us to evolve out of the earth and become these conscious beings to have this conversation. Like, it took me 6 hours to design a flyer. How long did it take to design the universe? Okay, so there's an omnipotent amount of energy right there just in the thought process, okay, in the creative process. Now, to convert energy into matter is like an infinite amount of energy. So at some point, that energy was somehow capitalized and reduced in frequency and slowed down in vibration till it could become solid matter and corporeal, so we could interact with it. So there's everybody believe, not everybody, but some people believe in one God. However, because the universe is binary, my theory is that there'd have to be two, one smart enough to do it all and one powerful enough to make it happen. Okay, just a theory. Now, going back to what I was talking about. Whatever mind, whatever group of people, things, beings got together to create this universe, they had to at some point be like, well, what are we going to use as structure? We're just going to use like random dots and dashes like Morse code or something, or are we just going to slap Legos together? And then somebody was like, well, let's use geometric shapes and patterns, because I'll tell you why. They said, because geometry is extremely strong. 3-dimensional geometry, like a cube, a tetrahedron, an octahedron, they're very, very strong. And so you need strength, but strength equals rigidity, right? So you also need flexibility. So sacred means unchanged, meaning you can't change the shape or else it's no longer sacred. Fun fact. So how do you change sacred geometry? How do you arrange sacred geometry enough to hold it sacred, keep it in its original form, but change it so you can create different types of matter? That's what like when molecules, atoms come together and form molecules, they form different types of, things like plastic and metal and water and, so on and so forth. So now what do we do? Well, you can't change the shape, but you can copy and paste the shape. and you can add on, and now you have molecules. Welcome to chemistry, which was the precursor to chemistry was alchemy. We'll talk about that on another day. Now you have chemistry, which everything in the universe can be explained through chemistry and math, basically. That's the science, okay? So there's this scientific quality to the universe that makes it possible to even exist. The spiritual element is, who the heck came up with that? You know, I don't know. I got all kinds of theories. Stay up all night thinking about it. I design stuff to honor it. That's why I use sacred geometry, because I honor it. I love sacred geometry because it alludes to the fact that there is something higher and a higher power, but it avoids all of the BS that comes with fighting. Like when it comes to religion, of who, and I respect your religion. I don't respect that people kill each other over religion, and I don't respect that people kill each other over books or flags. It's silly. That's right, I used the S word. That's why I love sacred geometry, because it allows us to believe. In fact, it's evidence. It's not proof, but it's very good evidence that something genius enough came up with this whole idea, this universe, which we came, is basically a school. We came here to learn. It was genius enough to do that and powerful enough to do that. And then it left no trace as to what its name is or where it came from or anything. So we could have the journey to go back to it, to figure it out ourselves, to find our own path home, so to speak. So there's the science, there's the spirituality, the fact that yes, they're separate, but it doesn't mean they can't intertwine, which is where the balance, that's where the balance is. The cross section, if you will, of science and spirituality is sacred geometry, which is why I'll rock that till the day I go to the next dimension. So anyways, I hope geometry creates some kind of universal language for us so we could all create peace in the world, and we can stop fighting over books, and we can start focusing on things like solutions and loving each other, and I don't know, enjoying the small amount of time that we're here. Maybe. I know. Crazy idea. Joy. Yeah. Let's try to have some joy before we go. Love you guys. Peace.